morning. I hope you guys can see me. I gotta like bend down a little bit because my tripod doesn't go up as high. Well, I need to get another one, of course, but we're gonna make it work. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe as well. And what I'm gonna be working on in this video, well, more so, it's gonna be a how-to. I'm gonna show you guys how to replace your ignition coil. This is a 2002 GMC Envoy. I think this year go from 2002 all the way up into 2009. This is the 4.2 engine, the 4200 series, the Vortec. It's a pain in the behind engine to work on at times. Recently I just did valve cover gaskets, and to get the intake manifold off was a pain in the butt. So for the most part, we're just going to begin, but let me show you guys you know, what cylinders I'm going to be replacing, and you know, I'm going to show you the misfire data when it's misfiring, so you know what to look for and what to look for afterwards when you're done, when you want to confirm everything. So just sit tight 1 second, and I'm going to go inside the car real quick.
All right, I'm inside the car. Let me go ahead and put the keys in, and just want y'all to hear how this engine is running. So the check engine light is on, of course. After a while, it will flash. We all know what a flashing check engine light is, so it's common sense. It's a misfire. So the engine is shaking, stumbling right now. Probably won't notice anything under the hood until the idle goes down, because it is on a cold start. But I mean, I can see it shaking. If you pay attention, you probably could, but it's missing. I don't want to get too in depth with this, so let me go ahead and plug up the code, my code reader, because I got live data, and I want to show you guys the misfire. So let me pause this camera real quick. So I'm just be quiet for a second, because I'm gonna toggle through this to get to what I need to get to. I'm gonna pull up misfire data. One thing I like about this, I call it a code reader. It's not a bi-directional scan tool. You can call it a scanner, whatever. It reads codes and reads live data. So I'm gonna manually select. I'm going in specific, and this is a 2002. I'm not under global either. Sometimes I can't stand global. Sometimes I can stand it. I'm gonna go to light duty and go to powertrain, and this is a 4.2 4-speed. Don't worry about this part. Just select whatever. So I put 1 speed active. Your device may not have that function. It doesn't matter. So you just need to get to. Well, let me read you the trouble codes. Here you go. Cylinder 1 misfire. Let's go over. Don't worry about these codes, because I had the sensor for the coolant fans. I had that disconnected. I ended up plugging it back up, so it's Gucci now. And the throttle, that was unplugged as well. So we only worrying about this code 1380, and then the cylinder 1 301, and there was a 300 random misfire, but it's not showing it now. Probably is. Let me keep going. It didn't. It doesn't matter. So we already see that cylinder 1 is misfiring. So I'm going to go to display data, and I'm going to go all the way down till I see misfire data. It's right here. So hurry up and load up. You see the camera shaking? That's the whole car shaking. So it's not even me shaking this camera. That's just the engine is misfiring. You can see what one cylinder would do. So I'm going to pull up the current. I don't care about history. Oh, not right. And not at this point. So let's just pull up all 6 cylinders. So I got 3, 4, 5, and let me get 6, and then go back. And as we can see, we all see what cylinder is misfiring. Of course, cylinder number 1, which is right here. You see the counts right there. I'm going to go down so you can see the rest of the cylinders. And let me go ahead and put a load on it. I'm going to apply the brakes and hit the gas pedal. So we're going to go up so we can see the rest of the cylinders. I'm just making sure this is like the only cylinder misfiring. Sometimes you can get others to produce a misfire under load. Sometimes it can be at idle. The car can run smooth and you don't see it on data, but when you apply a load like this, or drive it, shoot, go up a hill or something like that, put a load on the engine. And sometimes you can get the misfire to occur, sometimes you can't. Misfires, that's a whole nother topic. It's just all kinds of diagnosis for it, but luckily I already know what's wrong with this car, so I don't have to get all waist deep with this. So I already see cylinder number 1 misfiring. I don't even have to you know, what do you call that, power brake it or brake boost or whatever, because it's noticeable. So got that out of the way. So next I'm going to go under the hood and going to tell you what you need to be removing. The job is real simple. You can do this in your driveway. You can do this in the parking lot. You can do this in Pep Boys parking lot, AutoZone parking lot. Male, female. It's very easy. You only need a little bit amount of tools. I'm going to be using my 3/8 gun. I got an extension with a 10 on it. May not need an extension, but then I got a flathead screwdriver. I have my coil pack right here. I'll pull it out in a second. Well, once I get this, you know, start taking stuff off. So let me just go ahead and begin, and because I know you guys want to get back on the road. So let's chit chat and put the part in. So to get to the ignition coils, this is an inline 6, by the way. You're not dealing with the V6 like this. It's an inline, so everything is one line. So you're going to take off this air duct right here, and there are two 10 millimeter bolts. You got one right there, and then you got the other right there. So this is where my extension and 10 millimeter setup comes into place. So you put that over here for a second. Now that we located the bolts for the air duct, let me put this out there. Whatever order you want to do this in, it doesn't matter. I'm just letting you know what you need to take off. So I told you about the 2 screws, one right here and the other one on the other side. This clamp right here for this boot, intake boot, you're gonna unscrew it and then just take the boot off of the air duct itself. Don't remove it from this housing right here. You don't have to, you can, it's optional, it's up to you, whatever. You don't have to disconnect this air intake temp sensor. It's up to you. So just go ahead and begin. And I forgot to mention that there's another clamp right here that goes onto the throttle body. So just go ahead and back this off with your screwdriver, and you Gucci. All right, so once you get this intake boot off, be careful. Hopefully you can see. For the fuel pressure regulator, there's a vacuum hose. Comes off real easy. Twist it and pull, just like that. If this break, you know you gotta go to the parts store and go get you another one. These little plastic hose, they get brittle from time to time, but just be careful. So go ahead and remove this air duct out the way. Now I have access to 6 coils. We can count it from here, which is cylinder number 1. It's always by the crank. And so you got 1, and then working your way back to the last, which is 6. My misfire is coming from right here. I don't need to do a power balance test. I don't need to do anything crazy, because you know when I did this valve cover gasket because it was 1, 2, 3 cylinders. 1, 2, and 3 was flooded with oil. That's because the gaskets, the valve cover gasket was bad. Specifically, the seal for that protects the spark plug hole. That was bad. So it was literally flooded to the rim with fluid, engine oil, of course. And I cleaned it out real good. And only thing preventing this car from leaving this lot, going back to the customer, is that this cylinder number 1 was flooded the most. Well, this was flooded to the rim, to the top. This was flooded like halfway, and this was partial. But like I said, this was the worst one. So I cleaned it out real good, cleaned the hole out real good, dried it up, and the car was running cool. until, you know, when I went on a test drive, it just started, you know, bucking and breaking up. So you got this connector right here. It's a safety connector, so sometimes you can get in here with a flat screwdriver or use your fingernails, whatever, and just press up on this tab right here. Then you should be able to get this out. All right, let me get some gloves on because my hands are starting to get dirty. I don't like getting dirty when working on cars. I try to keep clean as much as possible. So be back in 1 second. I was able to push in this tab to get the connector off. If you want, you can take a flathead screwdriver and just press in this tab. Be careful. These connectors, anything plastic on engine, from hot to cold, just through that cycle. It's a vicious cycle from hot to cold all the time. Parts, they go from soft to hard, and plastic is number one, so be careful because it will break. So got that out the way. Now to get your ignition coil off, held in. Apparently you can, you know, see it could be, if it's not obvious, I'm gonna let you know. So you got 10mm bolt right there. Of course, we're not taking it off of cylinder number 2. We're gonna do it on cylinder number 1. So I just want to show you what the bolt look like. The bolt for this one is buried underneath this plastic thingy majig, so well, wire harness and protector. So just take a, let me find what I'm looking for. It's gonna hook my extension with the 10mm socket, and you can use hand tools. You don't need power tools like me. I use power tools. It makes the job a hell of a lot faster and less injuries for me. So these bolts don't come out, so don't bother pulling it out. You can just pull it up if you want. When you pull it up, the whole coil pack will come out, and as simple as that. So let me go ahead and put this plastic thing back in place so I can pull this coil out, and the coil comes out just like this. Now if you can see in the inside, you probably can't, but I try to clean this up much as possible. I did recommend another one. I did let them know that the cylinder was flooded with oil. It's not now. I cleaned it up like I said, but make sure you peek inside the spark plug hole. Make sure you ain't got no oil up in there. If you do, clean it out and get your valve cover gasket done. So pull the new coil out of the box. Make sure it matches up with the old one. Make sure it looks identical. Not exactly like twins, but make sure they're alike. So go ahead and put it in. Comes with the new bolt, so don't worry about it. So get it in there. And this job is real simple. There's no need to, when you're replacing coil packs, you know, you're not doing surgery or nothing like that. It's really easy. You need just common sense, and I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence. So let me get the bolt into place. I really hate working with one hand. I think I feel handicapped, and I shouldn't be feeling that way. Stupid harness in a way. It's okay. Nothing I can't do. Run it in with the gun. Alright, cool. I'm Gucci. I'm solid. So next I'm going to put the connector back on. I know you guys can't see, but you saw me remove it. Remember that installation is reverse of the removal process. So at times you can't really mess up. Let's go ahead and put the connector on. So click. Heard it click, put the safety tab on, everything back into place. So I'm going to put back on this air duct. And everything you remove, put it back on. I know what you removed because you follow me doing this job, right? Make sure you get your vacuum hose for your fuel pressure regulator, get that back into place. And I'm going to take the flathead screwdriver
and tighten up the boot, tighten up the clamp that that mounts to the boot mounts up to the throttle body. Tighten it up, and then the one that goes back to this hook right here. And then my 2 screws. Got 1. And I got 2. Tighten them up. You see why I use power tools? Because it makes my job a hell of a lot easier. Alright, so back in the car, I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to clear the data first. Let me plug this up. So I want to reset the check engine light. Alright, now I'm going to fire it up. I ain't go, yo, listen. This thing is running smooth like butter. But let me go back to the misfire data so you guys can see that it's not misfiring. Make sure we don't see any counts. And I'm going to pull up the same 6 cylinders. This thing is very smooth. You see any counts? I'm going to put a load on it. Now this is good. I can go up the block, whatever, go around a corner. There's no need to, because I already know the cylinder was flooded with oil. But this video, I wanted to show you guys how to replace the ignition coil, so you guys know how to do that. So let me just make sure. This is extra in the video. I shouldn't have done this, but I'm doing it anyway. Put a load on it. Not breaking up. Alright, my tripod just fell. I think I hit it. So let me go ahead and put this in park. So I'm going to spin this bad boy around the block, but for the most part, you see the camera shaking? Well, I'm shaking it a little bit from me just holding it, but overall it's not moving like how it was before. I'm pretty sure people got content similar like this out on YouTube. It doesn't matter. This is for the little guys. So this was too easy for you, this video not for you. If you know someone that's a do-it-yourselfer, this video is for you. That's what I try to aim for when I do videos like this. I really don't care about the people who can do stuff like this. I care about the people who need help doing stuff like this. So I'm Leekautorepair. You replace your ignition coil on your 2000, well for me it's 2002 GMC Envoy, and this model goes up to 2002 all the way up to 2009 to 42. So procedure is very, not even similar. It's the same. So that's that. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.